Well, third grade was a very hard year for me because there was so much bullying at the school I went to. He would always bully me. Like first it was with words, and then it moved on to physical, and then it got to one point, one day, he came up behind me and choked me from behind.
By the time we got to early January, he didn't want to go to school anymore. I suspected immediately that he was being bullied, and I asked him that, and he told me no.
I didn't want to tell him because I don't want him to go make a big commotion at the school. Like, I know my dad would because he's very protective of me.
He would wake up having seizures, was what it looked like. And he'd just be laying in bed shaking, and he would be shaking so bad that he couldn't brush his teeth, he couldn't eat cereal, he couldn't even get ready to go to school.
He bullied me so bad that I was shaking and I couldn't go to school for 6 weeks. And it scared me, and it scared everybody in my family.
We ended up taking him to doctors. He went to a cardiologist, he went to a neurologist, he had an MRI. He was like 8 years old, being stuffed into an MRI machine because they were afraid that he had some like catastrophic neurological disorder.
We went to doctors a lot before we finally figured out it was stress. We got in this huge fight out in the field, and then it ended up with him and I in a stare down, and then he backed off and walked off, and that was just one of the hardest days of my life.
The change in Zachary was immediate after he stood up to this kid. By the end of the school year, he had kind of appointed himself an advocate for the bullied. Sorry, I'm gonna start crying now. He not only stood up to his bully, but he started standing up to other bullies that are bullying other kids.
To the bullies out there, I mean, you guys need to stop because it's hurting our school district because so many kids are staying home from school because they're scared because of bullies.
This is Zach now, nearly 10 years following that interview you just saw. You would never imagine the unimaginable phase he lived through as a young child at the hands of one tormenting bully. The years have passed, but Zach's message hasn't changed.
The message is still the same. They need to stop. You really shouldn't. It's really messed up, and you can really mess up someone's entire life, and sometimes it leads to their life ending.
His message to families facing a similar situation is, as they say, simple, but not necessarily easy. Open communication.
My dad was the reason I got through it so well. If I had never told him and eventually broke, I don't know how it would have ended, but his support and his constant pushing for a solution was massive for me. It was the main reason I was able to get through it.
This is Zach's father today.
We sat down and we kind of developed a plan for moving forward from that point. And it was more about trying to figure out how to help him develop the tools to stand up and hold his head up and get out of his head, which is where he had spent most of the school year.
He has a very important message to parents, teachers, aunts, uncles, anyone entrusted with the hand of a bullied individual reaching out to them.
I think it's really important to remember that the person that's being bullied is going through the most difficult thing that they've ever had to go through. And if they come to you with that, it's incumbent upon you to respond to that with patience and understanding and nothing else.
Zach and his father remain very close to this day. While neither of them will credit the bullying episode with their tight relationship, they both know if they hadn't had each other to rely on, this could have ended in a fractured relationship, or much worse.
Fortunately, Zach and I have that kind of relationship that allowed him to open up to me about it. And if we didn't have that in the first place, I don't know where this situation might have ended up.
It's tough. I can tell you that it hurts every day, and it's really hard to get up and keep going when you know what you're gonna have to face every day. But it does eventually get better. And the solution isn't to just bottle it and expect it to just go away naturally. You do have to take initiative, but it does get better in the end.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Byrne. I hope you liked that story. For more great stories about the city of Las Vegas, don't forget to click on that box.